So what we're going to be doing is splitting the database into a front end and a back end. The back end would be on a network server, and it would contain the actual tables. The front end contains the forms, the reports, the queries, and the front end would be on the user's workstation. When the user makes updates, the tables that they have access to are linked into their version, and the actual table itself is stored in the back end. So basically you have a back end database with the actual data, and then each user has a link to that data, which gets updated. And this type of scenario is often used in companies where you have a lot of people accessing the files all at the same time. So what we're going to be doing is taking our database and splitting it into a front end and a back end, so you can see how that works. So we are going to go into Database Tools. And I'm going to click on the Access Database button. And this takes us into the database splitter. And it kind of is explaining what it's going to do. It's going to move the tables from the front end to the back end. It explains why it's doing this. This is multi-user environment. And basically, when you make updates, you are going to be updating the actual data in the back end. So after explaining all of this, it says, do you want to split the database? And we are going to, so let's go ahead and click on that. And you will notice that it gives it the same name with BE, short for back end. And I am going to navigate to my AL2C6 folder and put it right in there. And then I'm going to click on Split. And I'm going to click OK. And right now I am in looks like the front end. And how can I tell? Well, look how my tables are different now. These are links to the back end. I've got all my queries, I've got all my forms, I've got all my reports, but now these are displaying as links instead of tables. Now, if we open any of these tables, the datasheet view is going to look identical to what we saw before. So let's open up contacts. All right, so this doesn't look any different than what we were looking at before. The difference is this actual table is no longer in this database. It is in one called BE for backend. So if we go into our home ribbon and then we go into design view and we try to make a change to one of the fields, it's not going to accept the change because the actual table itself does not live in this database anymore. So for example, if we tried to change company to 50, okay, and we hit save, we're going to get an error, okay, and this is not a very user-friendly message, but basically we're dealing with a linked table, so the actual fields themselves are not in this database. So what we will do is just kind of right-click and close that table. Do you want to save the changes? We're going to say no because it won't save them. And we're going to close out of this one. And then we are going to open up the back end. And this is probably going to have to use open other files because I doubt we're going to be able to see it. And here's the one with back end, so we're going to open that one. And you will see now the only thing in this database are the tables. These are the actual tables themselves. And this time they want us to open customers. But if we were to go into design view and we were to change the size, and actually I believe there's a typo in here because we'd have to use contacts. So I'm going to change the size of the company to 50 and save. We're going to say yes. Say yes again. It actually did change the size. Okay, so let's go ahead and close. And let's close out of this one. And then we will open up the front end just so you can see. It should have pulled forward that 50 change. So let's look at contacts. Click on company, and it did pull it forward. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close.